What's up everybody, welcome back to Casual Lad. Today's video is on making money in the new content of Military Tycoon. I made a video on how to rebirth quickly very long ago. Half of the things there are outdated by now. If you're still interested, well, I'll leave the link in the description below. If you have been out of Military Tycoon for a long time, the first thing that you notice is the change in the map. And if you're following Military Tycoon closely, you would have also known that there are more rebirth content being added about 2 weeks ago. In order to have access to purchase everything, you need to have 35 rebirth. 35 rebirth is a lot, and it will take you a long time to reach this milestone. You will also need a lot of money to rebirth that many times. If you watch my video on Military Tycoon, each rebirth costs about $8 million at 12 rebirth, but it requires slightly less than $20 million per rebirth from 35 rebirth onwards as of now. Before you hit rebirth, make sure you have your best armor on, best weapon on, and best vehicle spawn if your vehicles are not from event. All these stuff will be gone upon rebirth if you are not equipped. Event vehicles and weapons will stay, but the core game vehicles will be gone. Spawn one vehicle before you rebirth if you're using them. You can spawn event vehicles here. On top of that, you should have taken over 2 oil rigs and 3 fortresses. They are your main sources of income at the initial stage. You can do that in a low volume server. Basically, I load in, see that none of the oil rigs or fortresses are captured, and I will stay in that server. It means players are generally AFK. After you hit rebirth, your money will reset too. So spend all your monies on buildables and upgrades if you can. The first thing you want is a large sum of cash at the start. That can help you finish your farm quickly. When I say farm, I mean the soldiers shooting at the targets. Those are your core income. We can get an initial sum of money from codes and spin, but these are not sustainable forms of the initial cash as they are not regularly available. The loot crates are great, 300k each if you are lucky, and that's almost sufficient for the initial stage. If not, the cash boost is fine as well. There is another method, and that is to raid your alternate account. If your alternate account only has a basic bunker, you probably can get about 30 to 50k per raid. But if your alternate account has a fully upgraded bunker, you can get about 350k to 500k per raid. That is a lot of money in the initial stage, but do it in a low volume server. You don't want others to raid your alternate account too, as the raid cooldown is not reset upon you joining the server. Now that you have about 500k, you can get all the farms and everything basic like a roof and a soldier house. Even if you don't have the loot crates or alternate accounts, the oil rigs and fortresses that you captured will help a lot. So I didn't get the weapon racks on the second floor. I didn't get the plane spawn. I didn't get the anti-air on the roof. I didn't get the base walls as well. It's not important, you just don't feel comfortable without it. But I did have a roof and I did have a soldier house. These are all I considered necessary at the initial stage. Why is that so? I can spawn my event planes, so plane spawn is not needed. I have my weapons with me, and I don't usually die that early unless people spawn camp me after they show my rebirth notifications, so I don't need the weapon racks. I didn't get the anti-air because you're gonna be fine as long as you're under your own roof. If they wanna raid, let them. You don't lose anything anyway. But if you really want to, you can get the anti-air as well. It's just 25k. I got the soldier's house because you can easily equip your shield and soldiers to help recapture any oil rigs or fortresses if they are taken away from you during the initial stage. I consider that necessary. Without the anti-air, I got everything basic at about 500k. All you're left to do is to AFK indoors. Go to the local park or shopping mall with your auto clicker on so that you do not disconnect. Or you can do something else. It doesn't matter if others take your oil rigs and fortresses at this point. Your main income is from your farms. I mean, of course, it would be best if you have them, but it's totally fine if you do not have control over oil rigs and fortresses anymore. It took about 4 hours for me to rebirth once at 35 rebirth, and it cost me about $20 million in total to be able to rebirth again. More importantly, you should do this at a low volume server. You can do that by sorting the servers by the number of players in a server. So that's it for today's video. Please leave a thumbs up if this video had helped you, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember to turn on that notification bell too. Bye!